And
And we are live.
this is it, Devaldo.
Get
We're
my
doing
angles
another
right.
episode.
Let me
Ah,
get
the
my
angles
angles
look
right.
great.
Yeah.
Angles look great.
Okay.
Is it? I don't know if it's like what I mean, but the t-shirt's looking a bit tighter, mate. You're bulking up, right?
Oh, no, I'm trying to lose, man. I'm always trying to lose. Always trying to lose. It's just getting tighter
But
because it shrinks in the wash. You see,
the pounds drop off you like fly, mate.
mate. The work I got to put in, the running, ah, running like Arnold
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger in an
man.
'80s action movie.
Running
Running,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Oh gosh. So listen, folks, we're back again. Deval and I. You can watch this episode. Watch it on YouTube. Go ahead and watch it,
Yep.
and see these beautiful faces mixed together and do all this sort of stuff. So listen, we are the Flixters, film and TV podcast, the number one film and TV podcast on the internet. I
Yeah.
just want to put that out there.
It's true. It's official.
Official.
Yeah.
Like, go
Yeah.
check out all the top tens and stuff. We're there.
Yeah.
If you like a film and TV shows and stuff, give us a look. Like, spread the word. Let us know. Like, on Instagram, we're there. Twitter, not so much, but we're there. You can catch us there. The usual places, Deval, right?
Yep. Usual places. If you can't see us there, you're not looking hard enough.
Exactly. See and you shall find.
Exactly.
All right, okay, let's get on to the show, Deval. So listen, shout outs. What we doing?
Yeah, quick shout outs. We got one from Crank, and this one comes from our YouTube channel. Crank actually was speaking about RRR. So we mentioned RRR. We reviewed it a little while ago. Massive Bollywood film. It's probably transcended Bollywood actually. RRR is like
Yes,
just a massive film in general, and definitely recommend watching it on Netflix. But Crank said that the director got some inspiration from Mel Gibson. Really loves Mel Gibson, and said that RRR, there are sort of notes of Braveheart in
yeah,
RRR. And when you watch it, you can kind of see what he's talking about. So just a nice little nugget from Crank there. Crank has got a great YouTube page. Go check out his stuff.
yeah.
From what he's saying, it sounds like he knows his stuff about movies. So yeah, definitely go check out RRR. So thank you for that, Crank. Our second shout out goes to Vega's. I was saying right, Vega's chick or Vega's chick. Maybe.
Or it could be Vegas Chiz.
Oh my gosh! You see, it probably is. It probably is Vegas chiz. What are Vegas? Vegan. I was thinking vegan. I don't know what else. Vegas of. You see,
Yeah, Vegas.
Vegas
Yeah,
chiz. So
Vegas Chiz. Yeah, okay.
on Instagram, go check out her page. Loves movies. Really great character. Bold imagery on her pages and stuff.
Mm,
Loves movies. So yeah, go check her out. Really great, positive person. And our last shout out goes out to none other than Ciel Noir 3. It
really?
was her birthday just the other
Oh,
week.
happy
Her
birthday.
birthday, and she looks younger and more beautiful than she ever has looked. Big shout out to you, Ciel Noir 3. She's always interacting with us on Instagram. Like I
Yeah,
say, go check out her page, full of positivity. And big shout out to you. Happy birthday from all
happy
of us at
birthday.
the Flixters. Yeah, there you
Flixters.
go.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, let's get into movie news now. Deval, um, this one, this is news to me, man. When you
Mm,
saw this, I'm pretty sure it was news to you as well. But listen, Keanu Reeves, the Keanu, how would you say it? It's not a renaissance of Keanu because he's been at this for quite a while, but
mm.
he's doing, his name attracts a lot of attention.
Yeah,
Like
it's the
when he's attached to a movie.
Canadians.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, he's coming back to a movie which he acted in. This is some time ago.
Yeah.
Time ago, John Constantine, this kind of DC character, comic book character, and I don't think it did well at the box office, Deval.
It wasn't a massive hit, but
No,
it's kind of got a cult
cult
following,
following.
hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the news here? Tell us about this because this is interesting.
Yeah, so the news is the Constantine 2 or Constantine 2, I can't pronounce shit, has been confirmed by Warner Brothers. And I'm not sure when it's coming out yet. Keanu Reeves will come back in the movie, but the original director, Francis Lawrence, is set to direct the movie again.
Hmm.
Constantine, the dark character, DC Comics. He's like a warlock, or he's got magical powers. I think he's made a deal with some sort of demon, and they have a hold on him. So he tries to be good, but at the same time he does it in a shady way. But he's got that kind of dark look, long Mac coat.
Yeah.
We saw him in
John
Legends
Wick
of
esque.
Tomorrow. Yeah, exactly, John Wick esque. So, yeah, interesting. Part one had Tilda Swinton, Rachel Weisz, Peter. What's his name? Peter Stanamore, I think his name
Yeah.
is.
Dominaire,
Uh,
I think.
Stomanair, yeah, see, I can't pronounce shit. But yeah, that was a good film. Also,
Oh
Shia
yeah.
LaBeouf was in it as well. But yeah, good film. So I'll be happy to see it come back whenever it does come back.
Mm.
But yeah, it's gonna come back for sure.
And he's got the clout now. Like
Yeah,
he's in this kind of period where things get made, and it's if you say Keanu Reeves, he's got that, and the John Wick movies have helped all of that, so that's all great.
yeah,
Now,
exactly.
this next piece of news, this is really really interesting. So, Deval and I, we've spoken about this on the show about kind of game adaptations. They become kind of TV shows or they become movies. Last of Us,
Mm.
Raccoon City, Resident Evil. So all that, Halo and everything. But this one, Deval,
Mm.
tell me about this.
So, do you like racing games, car racing
Kind
games?
of, yeah, yeah,
Ish,
yeah.
yeah.
Not bad. Yeah, they're all
Oh,
right.
remember Ridge Racer from back in the day? Remember
Yes.
Daytona in the arcade?
Outrun. I remember
Outrun,
Outrun.
exactly. But
Yeah.
now we've got Gran Turismo, a PlayStation game, which is quite realistic, quite vast. It only comes out every few years. Gran Turismo is now being made into a movie. It's going to start
Wow.
Orlando Bloom and David Harbour. So Lord of the Rings meets Stranger Things,
Yeah.
and they get in a car and they race. I don't know what the film's going to be like, whether it's going to be like a Fast and Furious type thing, or something else. I don't know, but this is happening, and it's going to be made by PlayStation Studios, who actually make video games as well. So they've got their own film, you know, studio
What
as
have
well.
they
So
done? What have they done? PlayStation movies. They
I
they've
think
done quite a lot.
they were involved. I think in the Tom Holland one that came out recently. What was it again?
Oh, Uncharted.
Uncharted, yes. And they've got other films in the works as well. So movies and movies do translate into sorry, video games do translate into movies. Doesn't always
Yeah.
work out well, but as we know, it does happen.
Mm. It does happen. So
Yeah.
we'll keep you posted on that one. All right, let's move on to this one now. The Russo brothers, famous obviously for Marvel movies, Avengers, um, Captain America movies, and just recently we saw The Gray Man, this big
Mm,
budget. Netflix like paid like 150 to 200 million dollars on it, and this big budget movie. But check this out, they've actually gone over to Amazon, and you know what I like
mm,
about the Russo brothers? It's like wherever they can get the money, that's where they'll go. They're not kind of like, right, we're only going to work with Disney, we're
yeah.
only going to work with Netflix. No, they wherever they can get the cash, that's where they're going to go. But check this out, they're working on a TV show called Citadel,
Hmm.
and apparently, Devaldo, the budget for this show, right, is basically spiraling out of control. So it was supposed to be around about 150 million. Then the rumors started coming out that it went. They started kind of going over budget. Half the crew they walked out. They had to do some reshoots. Then the
Mm-mm.
budget jumped to 200 million, but now they're saying it's looking like around about 235 million. And
Wow.
this is mad. It's like it's supposed to be a global event series, and it's a spy thriller, and it's supposed to launch local spin-offs. So what they've done is, what I think Amazon are trying to do is get kind of this IP, get two well-known film directors, make it big, make it
Mm.
loud, give it all that sort of stuff, and then hopefully they can have some local spin-offs. But maybe were they factoring this cost of
Well,
235 million?
it looks like Amazon's got the money, man. Bob, what's his name? Bob Bezos, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Uh, you know,
Bob's your uncle. Yeah.
yeah. What's the Amazon guy's name? Was that his name? Bob Bezos. I'm probably getting it wrong.
Oh, sorry, Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, that's it.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. I mean, they've got two guys, the Russo brothers, who done The Grey Man. Looks like this is going to be like a series type thing of
Mm.
it. So, do you know what? It's a lot of money, but mate, long as my parcels come next day delivery, I don't care.
As long as we nothing, I hope nothing screws that up, right? Seriously,
Exactly.
All right. Okay, listen. Look, I want to speak about this because Blade Runner. Yeah, I really, really liked the original. We waited a long time for the second one to come out, Blade Runner
Mm,
2049, and there was kind of like talk of maybe there was going to be another one. Um, I don't think Blade Runner 2049 has the same love
mm-mm.
that the original has, Deval.
No, 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 no. No,
It
there's
doesn't, right?
something about the original that it sits in a great place in people's hearts. Also, I think the
Yeah.
time was different, the expectations were different, and
Mm,
sometimes a film can really surpass expectations. Whereas the recent one that came out, people's expectations when it comes to those sorts of films are so high, you've got to do something really crazy to surpass those. So,
yeah.
still
What a
two great
shame.
films, still two great
Totally.
films, just
Yeah.
different.
Well, listen, look, here's the news. Let's add to that because speaking of Amazon, Deval, they've
Oh
just
my gosh.
they've just greenlit a Blade Runner TV show which is called Blade Runner 2099. So it's set 50 years after the events of Blade Runner 2049, and
Mm,
Ridley Scott's involved. He won't be directing, but he's going to be kind of have his kind of stamp of approval and executive producer and everything. But yeah, it's just interesting that they're going to be throwing Amazon. They want to get this IP as well, so it looks like as if they really, really pump in billions basically into these things. But
mm.
yeah, what do you make of that? A TV show based around the whole Blade Runner universe.
I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll give the showrunners more time to delve into different characters and explore that whole world. Maybe a perspective that's is more vast than just the protagonist that we usually get. So maybe other stories can be told. So it could be an interesting one.
Could be,
Could be
yeah,
good.
and they
Mm.
get if it's like a 6 to 8 episode, give the
Yeah,
kind of the characters time to breathe, and hopefully there's some action in that as well. So listen,
yeah.
any more news on that, we will definitely let you know. But for now, what we'll do is let's do new on streaming.
Hmm.
So listen to Val, episode 5 of She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so these are kind of moving at fast pace. Like there's kind of interesting things going on in them. I think this
yeah.
is. You know what? I saw it at the beginning of the week. When did it come out? Like it launched. Like when did it come out? Like Wednesday or Thursday? Was it or something?
Thursdays, yeah. For me, this was one of the weakest episodes. I actually fell
Yeah,
asleep
I forgot. I
during the
forgot about it, to
episode.
be honest with you.
Yeah, I had to rewind it because I was like, "Ugh," I just fell asleep, and I don't know if anything happened in it that was anything.
Like
Yeah, she went to law. She went to court to change to try and get her name back.
yeah,
She got her clothes made by some tailor, and there was a bit of a drop as to the Daredevil outfit in that one.
mm,
So that was a nice little drop.
yeah,
But the whole outfit, the whole episode, I don't remember anything.
major or kind of anything that
Yeah,
worthy.
yeah. There wasn't even a post-credit scene. It's like it was just a bit of a joke the whole way through, kind of thing.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I just not a
you're
great
right.
episode for me.
You're right. Absolutely, totally agree with you. It's kind of like the weakest out of the lot. And yeah, it's episode 5, and I can't remember. Is there? There's 9 episodes, isn't there?
Is there nine? Oh, I thought it was six. Okay,
No,
so
I
there's
think
nine.
because it would be weird if
It'd
they
be
just
too,
finished.
yeah, it'd be too quick if it
It
just
would
finished
be
on the
weird
next one.
because and
Okay.
I thought the whole Titania thing. I thought she was going to have a showdown with her,
Yeah, it just seemed like a joke. She's just like some Kardashian kind of like just selling makeup and
influencer.
stuff. Yeah, oh, I
I
don't
don't
know,
get it.
man.
I
It's a,
don't get
jo-
it.
a joke episode. A joke
Yeah,
episode.
there's rumors, Deval, that Blonsky is going to come back, and there's
Okay.
going to be a punch up there.
Okay. Well, that's going to go against his court order to not change
Mm.
into the abomination, so he'll go back to prison.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. And
Mm.
obviously, we've got so now that we know Daredevil was kind of teased. And remember, we've seen in the trailer that he does show up. So it'd be interesting to see, lawyer versus lawyer,
Mm.
what happens, to these
Mm.
guys and
Oh
how
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah,
fix
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, so She-Hulk episodes they drop every Wednesday or Thursday, wherever depending on where you are. Go check that out. Now listen, let's speak about the next episode of The House of the Dragon.
Mm.
Again, this was one of those episodes where it was deep. There wasn't a lot of action in this, but there was intrigue, there was drama, there was
Yeah.
tension. had all of that sort of stuff, and
There was
you know,
sex.
it was hot under the collar, mate.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of kind of
What did you think of that sex scene? The sex scene with Rhaenyra and
and
her.
Damon.
No, not Damon. Well, they kind of
Oh,
had a not a full on sex scene, but her and her
Damon.
guard. I forgot his
Oh
name, but the one.
man, yeah,
Yeah,
Clarice. Is it
I can't
Clarice?
remember his name. Her knight, her
The night.
bodyguard knight. I don't know.
Yeah,
She seems very. She's about 22, I think, in real life, or 23,
right.
but she looks a lot younger than that. And
Mate, she
when
looks
it,
like
when,
15, 16.
yeah, and when they were banging, I was like, oh,
I was
this
like,
looks.
oh God, this is
Yeah, she looks
really
really young, but yeah.
absolutely.
And I thought it was also funny uh, when Damon smuggled her into the town.
Mm.
Like she was wearing clothes you could wear today. the hat, the shirt. I was like,
Like
is
grunge.
this?
She looked
Yeah,
grungy. Like you could get away with like walking down the
sh
local shops.
exactly. Like those were not like clothes from the
From
Westeros or whatever. I
yeah,
was like, she looks very
landowners.
modern. Like that hat was, you could wear that today easily.
Yeah.
But
Like, listen, look,
yeah,
I know a lot of people watching it might be like, oh my God, but she was getting off with her uncle.
yeah,
But
that's
you
light
got to
work for a
yeah,
Targaryen. That's light work. Usually it's brother and
mate,
sister.
brothers and
The
sisters.
uncle ain't shit.
There's a YouTube video that I kind of went on, right? And it goes through the whole family tree. Oh my God. It's
Mm,
crazy. The kind of the brothers,
yeah.
sisters, the uncles, and like you name it, it's all
Keep it
there.
in the family. They keep it in the
In the,
family.
the Targaryens, they want to keep it pure blood.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah, and then that's why you get some of the crazies because
yeah,
when the blood starts
yeah,
mixing and everything, like you got all that. But listen, so a lot of people are kind of there was a bit of chatter on that online about, oh my gosh, this is shocking and everything. But yeah, you're right. That whole sex scene with the night and everything, I was just like, oh my god, I shouldn't be
yeah.
watching this.
And
But
it
yeah, what
shows
do you
that,
make?
as I say, it shows a bit, not well, a bit of friction, but also the differences between Rhaenyra and Alicent Hightower.
Mm,
They both want what they want. You know, I think Rhaenyra kind of envies Alicent for having a sort of life of the kids and the marriage and that. But under the scenes, Alicent she's checked out. She's with Viserys, and she's basically a baby maker. Even when they're having sex, it's one
ah,
sided.
that was
It's
bad. Yeah,
just yeah, it's just that
she's thinking about her embroideries.
she's checked out. She's just there, laying there, doing her duty as they ask her. And it just shows the different lives and how people perceive their lives to be. One wants freedom, the other one wants what the other one's got. And the grass isn't always greener, especially
Mm.
in Westeros.
Exactly. And then, so I guess kind of like where is this all heading? We know, well, I mean, I know anyway because I kind of did a bit of reading on this, but there is going to
Mm.
be another time jump
Okay,
because
yeah, there has
if
to
you have
be.
a
Yeah,
yeah, if you have a look at the what's coming up next type of thing,
yeah,
they're older,
they're older. Yeah, yeah,
so there is going to be a time jump,
yeah,
and that might be a bit jarring for people, but hey, maybe they have to kind of catch up and
yeah.
with events and stuff. So there is going to be that. There's going to be tension between Alison and
Mm.
Rhaenyra, and we don't know what's going to happen with Damon. So
Mm.
there's going to be bloodshed. There's going to be kind of
Oh
pain,
yeah,
and there's going to be all that madness going on.
yeah, for sure.
Right. Okay. Now, here's the thing, Devaldo. In my busy week,
Mm.
I had She-Hulk, House of the
Hmm.
Dragon. I had kind of other stuff that I've been watching on the side. And then there's Lord of the Rings, and mate, I haven't even been watching. I don't think I'm interested enough that I'm actually spending time with Lord of
Yeah,
the Rings.
being very
So
proactive in watching it. I get it. I get it. I mean, I did watch this episode. I watched it all the way through. Well, I
yeah,
didn't watch it all the way through. It was on. I fell asleep,
hmm,
and then I had to rewind it because I didn't remember what I just saw.
yeah,
So I'm halfway through this episode 4, I think it is,
yeah,
and it's more of the same. I need to watch it again to really see what's going on. But yeah, like I say, it's okay. I
hmm,
think what you're doing, don't rush. Watch it when you can. Let it build up, but there's no rush. It's not amazing at the moment. It's good. It's good quality. Like the money is well spent. You could see, but just don't rush. Yeah, it's okay. Take your time.
Yeah,
It's all good.
exactly.
It's all good.
Because I'm thinking, I've got Middle Earth, I've got King's Landing, and
Yeah,
then, like, I'm King's
something's got to
Landing. Let's
give. Something's got to
exactly.
give. Something's got
All
to
right,
give.
okay. So those are your stuff on streaming. And listen, folks, there's other stuff that we haven't even mentioned. Like there's this TV show called Narco Saints that is supposed to be
Ah,
pretty good. There's the Imperfects. I think it is this kind of like a
mm.
um, strange, not Stranger Things, a kind of Umbrella Academy kind of
Oh yeah,
thing on there as well. So there's
I
that
heard
film.
of
But
that one.
anyway, yeah, we'll speak about all that another time. But let's do trailers.
Hmm.
Now this is coming on Netflix, isn't it? This is called the Dharma Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer
Yes,
story,
yes,
and
yes,
this
yes,
stars Quicksilver.
yes. So this is going to be a mini series on Netflix. How many episodes is it going to have? 10 episodes, and this tells the story of the Milwaukee monster, Jeffrey Dahmer, who in the I want to say 80s to early 90s killed so many people. I think it got into the double figures, and he was really sick. The experiments he did on them, the way he mutilated their bodies and had parts of their bodies in the fridge, and I think he even consumed parts of their bodies as well. It was
Mm.
sick. So yeah, this is going to be coming out soon. Like you said, it stars Evan Peters, who was Quicksilver in X Men, and he looks like a really good fit for this. Actually, like a really good,
I agree
you know,
with this.
yeah, he looks like. So the trailer is about 2 minutes long. When's it coming out? It's coming out
1st of September.
21st of September. So by the time you listen to this, it may already be out. So yeah, let us know what you think on this one. I'm going to watch this because I've heard a lot about Jeffrey Dahmer,
I
and I
want to
want to
watch it.
see. Yeah,
The question that I've got is how did he? Because apparently he did a lot of these killings over like a 10-year period, like over a
yeah,
decade.
yeah.
How did he like evade the police? Like how did he not get caught?
He, well, this is the time period. It was 80s to the 90s. He's a white
Mm,
male, blonde, sort of, fairly good looking, well kept, had a job, kept himself to himself. He just killed black people. And he
mm,
said that it wasn't a race thing. It just happened to live in an area where there was a lot of black people around, and they were easier to get or something like that. So yeah, maybe I don't know, but he just never got caught. Yeah, until he
yeah.
did get caught, and the way he got caught, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it was just a
Yeah,
random
I'm
situation.
watching this. I'm
Yeah,
watching this one. This is going to be
watch it.
great. So yeah, so go check that out. Go check the trailer out, and you can
Yeah.
wait for that on the 21st of September. And the other one is Cabinet of Curiosities. Now this sounds really good. So tell us about this, Deval.
Yeah, so Cabinet of Curiosities is a uh, Guillermo del Toro
Ooh,
creation, and this is
yes.
going to be a anthology series on Netflix, and this is going to be a tale or collage, a collection of short stories, all horror stories with different monsters, different situations, and just all kinds of different madnesses happening. You know what Guillermo del Toro's creatures look like? You've seen
Oh,
uh,
um,
my mind's gone blank now.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth, yeah. He tends to use the same sort of actors when it comes to make to these monsters, so they all kind of have a similar thread in how they look. But yeah, this is looking interesting. I think there's 8 episodes, and it's coming out on the 25th of October, just in time for Easter. And from what I've seen so far, it looks like they've put in a lot of work into making this look really scary and having an atmosphere that you need at a time of Halloween. So
Exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna watch this one for sure. This is gonna
I
look
want to watch it.
decent.
It's got
Some of the
Andrew
stars in
Link.
this one, yeah,
Yeah, go for it. You're going. No, you're going. You.
some of the stars in this one. So you got Sophia Butella, I should say, Gina Davis. You got Ben Barnes, Andrew Lincoln, Walking Dead. Look at that.
Yeah.
Uh, just to name a few. So you got some good names in there, and yeah, even if there were no famous names, I still trust it. So there you go.
Yeah, he's great. The kids and I we've been watching Troll Hunters, which is a Guillermo del
Oh,
Toro.
okay. Oh,
Yeah, he came up with this thing. I mean, it's animation and everything, but even in that, right? You've got that kind of del Toro like
mm.
his kind of stamp on there. There's enough kind
Yeah.
of action, there's enough kind of horror in there, and like all
Mm.
that sort of stuff, which he's great at. So yeah, this is going to be good, folks. If you are into that sort of stuff, check out the trailer. And this is, I think, is coming out next month, 25th of October.
Okay, there
So
you go.
yeah, we'll watch that as well. All right, let's get on to
Mm.
anniversary corner. Now, this is we don't normally say this. When you have like a franchise kind of movie, a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, the firsts are always
Mm.
great."
Mm-hmm.
The original, you can't always top the original. But listen, I got to say this: when Scream, when that whole franchise came out, it was so kind of compelling. Like, it was so great to kind of see that, where Wes Craven, he had fun. He was having fun with the characters. He was having fun with the whole kind of horror tropes, and that was brilliant. That was perfect. And then when they announced that it was going to Scream 2, I was like, how are they going to pull this off? Like, how is this going to actually happen? So when Scream 2 came out 30 years ago,
Mm.
by the way, 30 years ago, Deval.
Mm.
This is
Crazy.
crazy.
Oh, this is
30 years ago.
25 actually. It's 25, 97.
Oh shit, sorry. Okay.
So my bad.
25, 25 years.
Yeah.
Deval, he loves, like, throwing them kind of things in there. So 25 years ago,
Yeah.
Scream 2. And it kind of picks up where, with Sydney Prescott, she's kind of, you know,
Sydney.
yeah. So she's kind of off now into college, and like there's always that kind of that shadow, that kind of dark
Mm.
cloud,
Mm.
surrounding her about kind of the Woodsboro murders and everything. And I just thought this was just as good as the first one. It was just like really good.
Yeah.
Brought the characters back again, brought new
And they're
killers.
still around. Sydney and Courtney Cox's character, they're still what's going on? They're still screaming. Huh? They're still screaming.
I wasn't too impressed with
Oh,
the last one. It was okay. It was all right.
I ain't seen it, mate. I
Yeah,
ain't
it
seen
was.
it, but
But yeah, one, two, and three, I think, yeah, they were like,
mm,
one and two definitely for sure.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
go
yeah,
check
yeah,
those
yeah,
out.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah, that's the same sort of vibe, I guess. All these young people who look like models running around killing each other. I thought possibly that could be a similar vibe as Bodies, 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 which I actually
oh,
haven't seen yet, but I know you've seen.
yeah. All right.
So
So listen, I'm gonna keep this sweet. I'm not gonna spoil too much because
yeah.
you're gonna at some point it's gonna be on the radar and everything. Listen, the thing to note about this movie, Devout, is A24 are behind it,
Mm.
and
Say no more.
yeah. So when you say A24, things like Midsummer. We had
Mm.
what was the
Moonlight.
one? Moonlight. What was the one with the um, Hereditary? Do you remember
Ah,
Hereditary? So they kind of, they're behind everything, everywhere, all at once. These
ah.
movies that we really, really like. And you remember you mentioned, this is so funny what I was doing. You mentioned a movie. You mentioned a movie recently where everyone all looked the same.
Everyone all look the same.
Remember that everyone was the guy. The guy there was a guy, and everyone in this
Oh, that
person.
was what's it called? The horror film. Ah, what's
Yeah,
it called? What's it called? What's it called? It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
and that's A24 as well, was it?
Yeah, A24. Yeah, that's A24 as well.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
it'll come to me. Shit.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
The
And okay,
Garland film, the Alex Garland film.
Alex Garland film. That
Yeah.
was it. Yeah, yeah. And then I remember I kind of watched this movie called Lamb. So the kind of quirky,
Hmm. Hmm.
offbeat kind of the movies that you might not obviously get a release from Warner
Men.
Brothers or Men. That was it. You got it.
Hmm.
And so A24, they're brilliant at kind of doing that. And they're bringing us this movie called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And the thing is, right, I saw the trailer. We spoke about the trailer and everything. And in the movie, there's lots of bodies. So it's kind of like a horror film. It's kind of like a comedy. Well, yeah, more of a kind of like the horror, but it's set in a kind of they've kind of narrowed it down to a kind of a generation. So in the movie, when I was reading the kind of synopsis, they call it kind of like Gen Z or Gen
Hmm.
Z, if you want to call it Generation Z, which are kind of like the younger, uh, on the phone, constantly on the phone, constantly like, oh, preoccupied about maybe TikTok and about what's on
Social
Instagram,
media and
social
likes
media
and
influencers and all that sort of stuff. So, and in the movie, you do get those types of characters, and it kind of
mm,
made me laugh. And a part of me was like, "Shit, am I actually going to relate to these characters?" But
mm,
when there's a serial killer or a killer involved, I don't care whatever the age group, you get kind of interested in the story because you're like, okay, who's the killer? So this is kind of
mm,
like a who done it movie. It's kind of figuring out who's the killer, why are they killing, and it's
Mm.
within this kind of Gen Z kind of generation. So, so these people they get invited to this big house, and the guy's name is Pete. Do you remember the actor Pete Davidson? He's like this
Yeah,
comedian.
he used to go out with Kardashian until recently.
That's it. He used to go out with Kardashian. So they
Mm.
get invited to his house. He's a rich person, massive house, like huge. So there's a big party. And the thing is, they are there to celebrate there's going to be like a storm. Like imagine if it was like, there's like a hurricane that's coming. They're
Mm.
having a hurricane party. I mean, how Gen Z is that? Mate, like how Gen Z is that? Hey, we're gonna have like a party in honor of this storm. So they're at this big party, and so you've got a character called B. She's like she's not. I think they don't actually confirm where she's actually from, but she's not American. But she's
Mm.
dating Sophie. So she's in kind of like a same-sex relationship, and at the beginning of the movie, there's this kind of like intimate scene between these two, and like kind of gets a bit steamy, and then they go off to this kind of big house. B's a bit kind of nervous because she comes from a working class background. She's going into a house which is massive. Everyone else has got
Mm.
money, so there's that kind of a thing that they're playing on with over there. And from the get go, Deval, everyone is weird. Like seriously, everyone is
Mm.
weird. And for me, the scary thing for me is I was thinking to myself, yeah, there's a killer loose in the house, but on top of that, I was kind of thinking, imagine if I had to spend a night with these Gen Z characters. What the hell would I talk about? Like that for me was kind of like really, really scary. It's like, how would I even fit in with this crowd? And a lot of the dialogue is like they did something really interesting with the dialogue. You know how you find on social media nowadays where you kind of get people, they are really quick to cancel you out.
Yeah, yeah.
They're quick to cancel you out. They're quick to have an opinion, but then also they're quick to change opinion as well,
Ah,
right?
these, yeah, that's modern people. That's it.
Yeah, it's like you're like this, and then when someone else says
Mm.
something, well, actually, no, you're not right. I agree with you. I don't agree with
Mm.
you. So
Mm.
there was a lot of this going on in the moments where they're pointing the finger at who the killer is. All right, so there's a
Okay,
lot of this
okay,
stuff, right? And I really, really thought that the director was doing something interesting with that whole
okay.
dialogue. One person's getting blamed, and then they turn it around to another person because
Mm.
online there is that stuff goes on a lot. I've noticed,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's a lot of
yeah.
blaming, there's a lot of kind of canceling, and like all that sort of stuff. They use a lot of terminology, like for example, gaslighting. They use stuff
Cap.
like yeah, they're
I
like
don't,
yeah, they use
I
a
don't
lot of this kind of
understand. I
terminology.
don't understand. No cap. What's
Yeah,
that?
mate, like seriously, like if I knew, I'd be talking about it. But listen, so they're in this party, and then one of them says, "Oh, let's play a game. Let's play bodies, bodies, bodies." And the idea of the game is they turn the lights out, and
Mm.
one person is a killer, like in the game that they're playing. And that person goes around in the dark, and as soon as they touch you, you have to pretend that you're dead. All right.
Mm.
And then
Okay.
everyone has to figure out who the killer is. So that's part of the game. But then what happens is people start dying for real. All right.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
they have to figure out who the actual killer is. So, your kind of Knives Out, that whole kind of, solving the murder mystery.
Yeah.
There used to be a game called Catch the Killer. Or no, there was a game called Guess Who or something.
Guess who? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so it's all sort of like, so if you can imagine all of that going on with people with this
Gosh.
obsessed kind of TikTok generation, and
Yeah.
so there's all of that. So it's interesting. I'm not gonna turn around and say it's an absolute classic that it's a must watch because it's not. But there's interesting things in there. Whether or not
Mm.
you're gonna actually go out and pay to watch this, Devaldo, I don't think that you will.
Mm.
Um, but
Well,
like I
I'm
said
not
before,
now because it's not in the cinema, so I can't.
yeah. So I'm not sure how much mileage you're going to get. Now,
Yeah,
what is the thing with every whodunit movie? What is the thing that they do at the end of the movie?
they change your expectations. That the person that did it isn't the person you think. Yeah.
Right. Okay, you've got it. I'm just for everyone who's not watching this on podcast, I'm pointing at Deval. So
Uh,
it's a classic whodunit in that regards,
mm,
where the what turns out to be what really happened is you're not even going to expect it. But basically,
mm,
there's this whole thing. I'm not going to spoil it. So all I'm going to say is it's aimed at probably it's the director has definitely got a message about the generation that are currently kind of growing up right now, this kind of generation of like constantly on their phone, constantly kind
mm,
of changing their minds, not knowing what they want, and canceling people out, but at the same time agreeing with what people are saying, but they're not agreeing, and then there's all this sort of stuff and no one knows exactly what the hell's going on, and there's a murder mystery within all of that. So if that
mm,
is interesting to you, then yeah, bodies, bodies, bodies from A24. Maybe I don't know
mm.
because
And
if
it's
it's not
enough that it's
interesting,
A24 that it makes me intrigued to watch it.
mm,
And if it was still in the cinema here, near where I live, I would go and pay to watch it, or I'd use
yeah,
my free pass.
yeah.
But I will watch it eventually at some point because I am
At some point you
intrigued.
will.
Yeah, I am intrigued.
Yeah, at some point you will watch it, and then yeah, we can catch up on the conversation there.
Mm.
So listen, look, folks, that is the end of the episode. Deval, what did we manage there?
Yep,
How long was that one?
36 in the mix.
There you go,
Yep,
36 in the mix. And again, as always, we've got loads more stuff coming up on the show. There's going to be
yep.
The Woman King, which Deval,
Early
you've
October.
been watching that.
Yeah, Smile is coming out at the end of September, so that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to reviewing that
Another
one.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So
exactly. So keep it locked with the Flixters, folks. We hope you enjoyed the show. Get in touch with us on Instagram. And yeah, that's it. Bob's your uncle.
sure is. See you later.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.